Hello, my name is Ashley Wagner, and I'm here to talk to you today about how Amanda Knox is wrongfully convicted for the murder of her roommate, Meredith Kercher, in Perugia, Italy. Amanda was just 20 years old when she moved to Italy as part of a study abroad program with the University of Washington. Little did she know that a few months after her arrival, she and her then boyfriend, Raffaele Solicito, would be accused of murdering Meredith. However, there is little substantial DNA evidence that proves Amanda and Raffaele murdered Meredith. Upon arrival to Italy, Amanda became roommates with Meredith, a British exchange student, and two other girls. In October of that same year, Amanda met Raffaele, an Italian-born student studying computer engineering. 6 days after Amanda and Raffaele began dating, Meredith's body was discovered murdered. On the morning of November 1st, 2007, Amanda and Raffaele returned home and found the front door open. Even though Amanda thought it was strange, she entered anyway to take a shower. She went to the second bathroom of the flat to blow dry her hair and then noticed that the toilet was left unflushed, and also realized that Meredith's bedroom door was left locked, which was unusual. Amanda and Raffaele decided to call the police. The Italian postal police arrived a few minutes later, saying they discovered two cell phones abandoned in the bushes of a nearby garden, one of which belonged to Meredith. They then forced open Meredith's bedroom door and discovered her body stabbed to death. Because of Amanda and Raffaele's peculiar behavior that day, the police quickly started pointing fingers at Meredith and Raffaele. As part of a 5-day grueling questioning session with the police, Amanda falsely accused her boss, Patrick Lumumba, of committing the murder. When Lumumba was cleared of any wrongdoing, Amanda wrote a formal apology stating that her accusations were, quote, made under the pressures of stress, shock, and extreme exhaustion. The next day, on November 6th, Amanda and Raffaele were arrested for Meredith's murder. While investigating the bloody crime scene, investigators found a bloody handprint belonging to Rudy Gueda. Rudy's DNA was also found on and inside Meredith, as well as on Meredith's purse. He was also the one that used the unflushed toilet that Amanda had noticed earlier. Gueda had been extradited from Germany, to which he fled the day after Meredith was found murdered. After being confronted with the DNA evidence, Gueda said he met Meredith at a bar. They started, quote, fooling around when his stomach became upset and he had to use the bathroom. When he came out, he found Meredith stabbed to death. He also said that he saw two people running, but he did not realize who they were. He then also said that he panicked and fled Italy to Germany because he was afraid that the color of his skin would wrongfully convict him. However, because of DNA evidence, Rudy Gueda chose Italy's fast-track trial and was found guilty of murdering Meredith. He was originally sentenced to 30 years, but upon appeal was then sentenced to 16 years. The lead prosecutor of Meredith's case was Giuliano Menini. During Meredith's trial, he was under investigation himself and later convicted for abuse of office and bugging journalists on a previous case. Concerning Meredith, his idea was that Amanda, Raffaele, and Rudy were involved with Meredith in a sex game gone awry. His theory was that the three of them wanted to have sex with Meredith and she was against it, and they then killed her. During the trial, crime scene evidence was used to prove the prosecution's case. The smoking gun was the knife they claimed was used to stab Meredith. They said the knife came from Raffaele's kitchen and that Amanda's DNA was on the handle and Meredith's DNA was on the handle and Meredith's DNA was on the blade. The truth is the murder weapon has never been found. Not only was this not the murder weapon, but no DNA of source was found on the common kitchen knife, nor did it match the size of the bloody knife imprint that was found on Meredith's bed or the stab wounds found on Meredith's body. Another piece of evidence that the prosecution used was a bra clasp that was found on Meredith's bedroom floor 47 days after Meredith's body was found. After being shuffled around on the bedroom floor and being mishandled by authorities who did not change their gloves in between handling evidence, the prosecutors claimed that Raffaelle's DNA was found on the clasp, therefore putting him in the room at the time of the murder. In all likelihood, Raffaelle's DNA was probably a transfer after the investigators passed the clasp around with contaminated gloves. During the trial, 8 bloody footprints were said to be found at the scene. 6 prints were confirmed to belong to Rudy Guaita, and the other 2 were disputed. However, the assistant prosecutor and a forensic biologist testifying claimed that the footprints tested with luminol throughout the house were consistent with Amanda and Raffaele. Luminol was used to see if any blood was present and possibly cleaned up on the floor. Even though the footprints glowed at the time the luminol was used, later tests proved that no blood was found. Even though these results were known at the time of the trial, the assistant prosecutor and forensic biologist failed to present this information during the trial. Before and during the trial, the media had a field day with the supposed sex theory presented by the prosecution, included using the name, an old soccer name given to Amanda, Foxy Noxy, used to describe her slyness on the soccer field. The media then used this nickname to describe her sex life. The prosecution leaked stories to assassinate Amanda's character, and on the day of Amanda's murder, the flat became a crime scene. As a result of not being allowed to get her clothes, Amanda went to buy underwear in a nearby store. This outing was then portrayed to be a fantasy of Raffaele and Amanda buying lingerie to have kinky sex. Earlier, when Amanda was waiting to be questioned by police, she did yoga moves to calm her nerves. This was later turned into Amanda doing cartwheels in hallways. The media had portrayed Amanda as being convicted even though the trial was still going on. On December 4th, Amanda and Raffaele were convicted of Meredith's murder. As a result of Italian law, their conviction automatically went into appeal. Her appeals trial started on December 11th, 2010. Through corrupt prosecution, inept investigators, and concealed information, Amanda did not receive the same fair trial she would have received here in the United States. Whether or not Amanda participated in Meredith's murder, we will never be 100% sure. However, DNA evidence concludes that Amanda and Raffaele played no part in Meredith's death and that Rudy Guaita most likely acted alone. I hope that by the proof of the lack of DNA evidence that I have shown, that this maybe has changed your mind about Amanda Knox. Thank you. I don't know if this has maybe changed your mind about Amanda Knox. I don't